Hello there, Collector Steve here. If you watched the last episode of Unboxing the Boxes in my Star Wars collection, then you got to see the 31 different toys that Burger King had to tie in to the movie Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, 31 of these. Well, a couple of days after I filmed that episode and posted it, I happened to find a bucket of some of these toys that are actually opened. So I thought, well, let's take a look at these and see what these toys were capable of doing. I also found a bucket of, I don't know if you want to call it phase 2 or not, but these toys were on Burger King the same year, 2005, or at least that's the copyright on them. And these are called Complete the Saga. So let's take a look at these, and let's take a look at these, and let's have some fun with some toys, because we've got open ones to play with. Well, like I said, I happened to find this bucket, I think it was 2 days after I posted the last video. And if you remember right, I did not want to open any of the 31 figures I had, or 31 toys that I had, because, you know, I'm an in-the-box collector. So I was kind of surprised and happy to see that I had a bucket of not all of the 31 toys, but a fair number of them. So we're going to take a look and see what these toys were capable of doing. Okay, well, there were a couple that were in the bag yet in this box, but the rest of them were open. Now, if you remember in the last episode, the first one I talked about was the Darth Vader. And if you remember, I said, this is a big toy, and it's kind of heavy about it, too. Well, somebody in the comments left a note about what this was, and I was rather surprised. Well, wouldn't you know it, I happen to have one of those Darth Vader toys here. And what it is, the reason it is so big is because this actually opens up, and inside we have Anakin Skywalker. That is pretty cool. I was not expecting that. So it's kind of neat to see that. Now this Anakin is just a figure. It doesn't do anything except hide inside the Darth Vader armor. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see what else these toys are capable of. Well, we have R2-D2 here. And R2-D2 is one of those toys that when you pull out the little tab here, there's a battery in here, and it's a non-renewable battery. When the battery runs out, that's it. But on the bottom, there's a little view screen, and when you push the button, which is back here underneath the little tab, it would shine a symbol onto the table or wall or whatever it is you're going to do. Now, of course, these aren't very powerful, so you're not going to press it here and have it show up on the wall 10 feet away. You're going to have to be fairly close. In fact, the Stormtrooper does the same thing. And for his, you got to push his little power pack in the back here. And if I do that, I can see it has the Imperial logo that shines from the viewfinder in the back. So I don't know if you can really see that very well, but these batteries are 20 years old practically. So surprised this one still has a little bit of power. Next, we have General Grievous. And remember, General Grievous had a little bit of a winder here to do something. And I wasn't sure what, but now we can actually find out. And there we go. He moves his arms until he runs out of power. Kind of a cool little toy to feature. And there he is. So that is General Grievous and what he's capable of. Now I said there's also a couple of the plush toys. Well, here was the Jawa. Kind of a nice little plush Jawa. And yeah, he seems to be more solid in the body. You can kind of squeeze them a little bit, but I was just looking to see if maybe his eyes light up when you squeeze them, but if they did, the battery's dead. It's not doing it. So still a little nice little plush toy. And of course, then we've got the Boga. Remember, we were looking at that at the last one. Okay, we've got the Emperor here. And remember, we had this button on the back that you could push. And we had a little hole in the front. So I was guessing that it was maybe a water squirter. And I did have somebody in the comments last week make a comment that yes, this did squirt water. And this little spot back here, I think that's where you put the water in. So you can open it up, put the water in, close it back up again, and then have fun squirting your friends with it. Next we have Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. Both of these do the same thing. I couldn't really tell from the bag, but remember I was talking about this little dial back here. You can hear it click into different positions. Well, right here, that little lighter colored piece of plastic there in the back actually lets light into it, and there's a viewfinder on the bottom. So when you look into it, you can, and shine us back up to the light here, you can actually see a scene from The Empire Strikes Back. And when you turn the dial, you get a different scene. And there happens to be 6 different scenes from the movie in Luke. Princess Leia is the same thing. Got the light in the back. We've got the little dial here to spin. And we've got the viewfinder back here. And the scenes in hers are different than the ones in Luke. So between these two, we've got 12 different scenes from the movies. Now with Princess Leia, these scenes are from A New Hope. So we've got A New Hope. We've got The Empire Strikes Back. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Same thing. Let the light in there. Got that. Let's see what movie he's got stuff from. And when we look at this, he is from Revenge of the Sith. So between these 3 characters, we've got all 3 movies covered. Next, we've got Yoda. Now Yoda, he does have an arm that you can move a little bit. But his main thing is when you look at the bottom, there's kind of a little viewmaster there. And if you know what a figure 8 ball is, you would ask a question, shake it up, and turn it over. And the figure 8 ball would tell you yes or no, or could be, maybe, not at this time, something like that. Well, it's the same thing here. You can shake them up, ask a question, and there's a little cube inside that's supposed to come to the top. Unfortunately, this is so old that some of the liquid has dried out, and the cube is not coming out to the top anymore. So the cube is still in there. I can still see the cube, but it's just not rising to the top. It's about half empty now. Probably a little more now. I don't see any stain or anything on the figures saying that it was leaking out or anything. I have a feeling it just vaporized and those molecules got out one by one. The next, remember those little vehicles we had? And that they had wheels on the bottom. Well, I got to play with this one and found out that if you take this, pull it back, and pull it back, and there it goes. It goes off on its own. And it doesn't really like the cloth here. I have a feeling it'd probably work out a little better on the table. And I think this one's kind of wore out. You're going to have to... That's kind of cool. So, those are what some of these toys were capable of that we looked at last month. Now, let me get these out of the way, and we will take a look at the next bucket full of toys here. After, of course, I invite you to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified when more videos come out. By the way, how do you like these buckets? This one is from episode 2, showing various scenes from episode 2. And this one is from episode 4, which is... Actually, they got all kinds of pictures on this one. But there were 3 different buckets. The other one is upstairs, full of a tactics, various toys that were opened up. So I do have the 3 buckets from the 3 different versions of this, so it's kind of nice to have. Now let's take a look at what these were. Like I said, these are from Complete the Saga. So a little bit different as far as promotional goes, but they're all copyrighted 2005. So it looks like they were made the same year as the other ones. So I'm thinking these came out in the first part of the year. These probably came out later in the year. Let's open these up. Well, I don't have to open up most of these because most of these are opened already. There's only a few that are closed up. And the first one of those few that are still bagged is R2-D2. And when we look at this one, it looks like the same as the other R2-D2 in that it's one of those little things where you push the button and the little symbol appears down on the table or whatever it is you're on. So there's R2-D2. And you know what? Before we go any further, they do have, each of the figures came with a little brochure here. Just a little one-page thing. And inside of it, it not only gives you directions on how to use the toy, but also a checklist of what it is. And it looks like there were 17 different toys in this series, so a lot less than what was in the other one. Just a little over half of what was in the other one. So we'll take a look quick and see if we got all of those too. But there's R2. We also have another Emperor Palpatine, only this time he's got a red cape on, or a reddish cape on, burgundy, instead of the black cape that we saw in the other series. Here's another R2-D2, so we got 2 R2-D2s. We've got a little Naboo starfighter. And another type of ship, and I'm forgetting exactly which ship this was. We have Bail Organa. And we got one more that's bagged. And that would be some people's favorite Jedi. And I know this is bad. I can't think of his name right offhand. Maybe I'll think of it later. But those are the ones I have bagged. So out of the 17 various ones, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bagged and 1 doubled. The rest of these are open. Now, I have several of these. Ooh, I got quite a few of these. Guess I kept all the, I must have opened these myself, or somebody did, because I still have a lot of the booklets that came with the toys, which is kind of neat. It's this way, if I can't figure out what the toy does, it'll give me instructions on how to use them. All right, let's see what these toys are capable of. Now, these were interesting. There's a few of these. Looks like the Emperor and Chewbacca and Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker. These 4, I was looking, there's a splice all the way around halfway through the body on these. And I was trying to figure out what in the world do they do? Didn't see any instructions on the bottom or anything. As far as the figures go, they're all kind of cool. The Emperor has a lot more detail in his face in this particular series than it was in the previous series. It was nice to see Chewbacca in a plastic form with a little more detail than the furry Chewbacca. And then, of course, we've got Anakin Skywalker, which is actually a pretty good likeness of Hayden Christensen in this particular one. And we've got Luke Skywalker in his black Jedi robes. Like I said, I wasn't sure what these did, so I had to take the brochure and figure it out. And wouldn't you know it, I would have never guessed this myself, because I wouldn't have thought to pull the top off the base. And what they are is a top. Rev it up, and they'll spin around. Maybe I revved it the wrong way. Maybe I need to get it on the table here instead. Okay, well, I'm not getting it to spin very well. Well, it spins, but it doesn't stay upright. Nope. So, but basically it's supposed to be kind of like a top or a spinner. We'll just call it a spinner. And then when you're done with it, snap it back together, and you've got a figure. So there's our 4 tops as far as toys go. The next 3 include Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace Windu, and the guy I can't remember his name right offhand. I know, it sounds bad. Me being a Star Wars collector all this time, I just can't remember. Doggone, it almost came to me. Anyway, these 3 do the same thing. And basically, they're the little figure 8 balls, or, yeah, figure 8 balls, or ask it the question, turn it upside down, the little thing's supposed to come up and tell you an answer to your question. Well, there again, the liquid's halfway dried out. Same on that one. And same on that one. So the little cube inside does not come up on these either. They're all dehydrated to a certain degree. But still, I bet you it was a fun toy back in the day. You could ask it all kinds of questions. Now, Bail Organa and Padme Amidala both have the same feature again. You'll notice on the back, we do have the little tags to pull out because these have batteries in them. Why do they have batteries? Because they've got the little projection screen that you can project on the bottom and see what kind of symbol comes out. Now, in a way, I kind of don't want to pull that out because the batteries are, well, the battery in the Stormtrooper still worked. I just noticed Bail Organa's button pushed in and it did not pop out unless I hit it down. So that one's kind of sticking. Padme's button works pretty good. But, like I said, pull those 2 out, the battery can make connections and you can see what symbols are there. We have a Darth Vader who also has a tab on the back, and it looks like we have speakers on the back, so I think this is the only one that probably actually has sounds from the movies, probably various lines that he says in the original trilogy. And then we have the ships. So we got 4 different ships here, and you'll notice that these ships come with, I guess if you want to call it a key, it basically fits into a little groove in the back here. Slip it into the groove. And you can see the little part here, just push that in. And there it goes. Kind of neat. And one nice thing with these, for this one, we got a yellow one for the pod racer. We've got a reddish one for the ship, so at least they're somewhat color coordinated. And of course, for the Vulture droid, we do have a blue one to go with the blue Vulture droid. And for the Snow Speeder, we do have an orange one to kind of match the orange trim of the Snow Speeder. These toys would be fun to play with. I could see as a kid, you'd have a lot of fun with your friends racing your vehicles, seeing who could be the fastest one. Now, do I have all 17 of these? No. When I looked this over, okay, I do have Darth Vader. We do have Palpatine, Chewbacca, Luke, and Anakin. We do have R2 in a bag. And like I said, he is a little projector along with, over here, Padme Amidala, Bail Organa, and they're supposed to be a Stormtrooper. I do not have the Stormtrooper for this one. Next, we have the 4 vehicles. So I've got all 4 of those. And then we've got the figure 8s, or the ask a question, use the Force to find out your answer. Got Mace Windu. We've got the, is it Plo Koon? That doesn't sound right. No, I'm not sure. And then, of course, we've got Obi-Wan. And there's supposed to be one more, and that's Yoda. And I do not have the Yoda from this set. So, missing 2 of the 17, which still isn't too bad. I must not have used my inside sources to get the whole batch of this one. But still, 15 out of 17, I don't think that's bad. So what do you think? Between these two series of Burger King toys that tied in with the Star Wars movies, do you think they did a good job? Because I think they did a great job. You don't find toys like this at Burger King anymore. At least I don't think you do. It's been a little while since I've been to Burger King now, and when I have been there, I really haven't been paying attention to the toys anymore because they're not Star Wars. But these I think are awesome, and I'm surprised that with at least the one I tried before, the battery was still operational after 20 years. I'm really tempted to open up the Darth Vader one here. I'm resisting. Well, before I go, I would just like to invite you to leave a comment and let me know what you think of this set. Which is your favorite? And in fact, let me know which series of toys is your favorite. I prefer the vehicles. I think it'd be fun racing these. But I know some of you might like the tops, some might like the projectors, and if the figure eights worked, they could be kind of fun in their own right. I'd also like to invite you to like this video, share it with your friends, spread the love of Star Wars out amongst your friends and fellow collectors. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It's nice to see we're approaching that 1,700 subscriber mark. Fantastic. Now, one of my upcoming videos, you'll notice back here, I did some shopping at Walmart. Everything here pretty much was on sale. Closeout time at Walmart. Most of these were bought online, but I do have one bag that I bought at my local Walmart. We're going to be going through those, maybe not the next video, but the video after, because I'm still waiting for one more package. Like I said, subscribe to the channel so that you're notified when these videos come out. Well, until next time, may the Force be with you, and keep collecting.